Constantly amazed at how smart they are. We really don't give them enough credit. When my grandson, great grandson, Jackson, he was the little boy up here with a buzz. He's also known as Wendell Jackson Brantley Spider-Man roller skate. When he was 3, he came up with his own set of 5 rules. And yes, he knew what 5 meant. So I decided to co-opt his rules into my talk this morning about why I am a UU. And his lawyers have already sued for royalties, so don't worry about that part. Here are Jackson's rules. Number 1, be happy. This sounds like a pretty easy and reasonable rule to live by, but how many people do you know who are miserably trapped in their own web of unhappiness, never seeking the companionship of happy people? I'm not saying that UUs don't get depressed or worried. Anyone with Fox News on their TV certainly has reason to be depressed, if not downright scared. When I come to church, I am greeted outside by Sam or Louise or Robert, and they are smiling. Inside are more smiling faces. They were genuinely happy to see me. Unless, of course, I have accidentally stumbled into the church of really great actors. My UU friends are not simple or untroubled, but they make the effort to greet people cheerfully and non-judgmentally. You have a blue mustache? Fine. Wear your shoes on the wrong feet? Fine. Come in. You are welcome. It would seem that so many churches enjoy the oppression of sin, feelings of unworthiness, the fear of burning in hell. But I find most UU members live in wonder and awe of this beautiful world and joy and the happiness of being alive. I read somewhere, you are not what you eat, you are who you meet. And I meet exciting and happy people when I come into this church. Jackson would be proud. Rule number 2, be smart. When I was growing up, I did a lot of church hopping. Depending upon my friend of the moment, I attended a number of churches: Catholic, Lutheran, Church of the Nazarene, Assembly of God, Latter-day Saints, Baptist. I was fussed over, prayed over, looked over. My questions went unanswered. I was told, take it on faith alone. No questions. At one church, I turned completely invisible, and not one person saw me or spoke to me, not even the pastor at the door. The UU Church is the only church I know of that requires members to think. Our 4th principle is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We ask questions. Now, don't get me wrong, I learned a lot about the Bible at those other churches, and sometimes I get right smug while watching Jeopardy. We have so many intelligent and well-informed members, and I have learned from all of them. We have published authors, we have playwrights, we have poets, and free thinkers. We have professional and craftspeople, mothers and fathers, teachers and plumbers, people from every walk of life. They all bring knowledge and light into our congregation. But in order to be smart, as Jackson wants us to be, we have to listen. Every person in this room knows something I don't. And when I listen, I get new ideas, I become more tolerant, and my world grows larger. Rule number 3, be good. No hitting, no pushing, and we have to share. Good probably means something different to a 3-year-old, but being good definitely defines the UUs I know. Being good means that we are kind, and most of all, we respect. We accept people as they are, and we listen to them. We don't criticize or bully. We ask if we can help. Our first principle asks us to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. That means every single person we meet. And Lord, I hope I never meet Alex Jones. We treat one another in a kind fashion, and in fact, we have a covenant that requires us to act civilly and accept rebuke when we don't. We share what we have with others. There's a food pantry in the common area for folks who need it. Will Ortiz works to feed the free clinic, charitable collections every second Sunday, teaching children, playing music like Kathy, providing transportation, bringing flowers. As Garrison Keillor so often said, we do what has to be done. So many examples in so little time. Rule number 4, be a decent citizen. This is a phrase my father used, and when I drop kids off at school, I always remind them to be a decent citizen. At first, I thought Jackson was repeating him as the good rule, but the more I thought about it, I came to realize he had it right. Being a decent citizen is similar, but different from being good. Being a decent citizen requires us to be responsible. Responsible for our family, our church, our community, our country, our world. Like all churches, we depend on willing hands and hearts to keep operating. Oh, here comes the sermon. Besides money, of which there is never enough, we need parents and volunteers in the RE room with the kids. We need workers to help Frank with the buildings and grounds. Stephen and Owen are learning the sound systems and Nathan can use help with the money and finance. The program lists a few of the volunteers working today. So many more are behind the scenes. Be a volunteer. This is part of being a decent citizen for our church. We also need to register to vote and attempt to elect good officials to serve our community, state, and country. Registered voters? I thought as much. By voting, a decent citizen helps feed hungry children by voting to approve funds for free breakfasts and lunches at schools. We protest injustice, we pick up litter, support the arts. Like Betty, we register voters, march in parades, serve in the military, never drive while intoxicated, and drink free trade coffee. There are many ways to be a decent citizen, and you lead the way. And by the way, this part of my speech could have been a lot longer. Rule number 5, we are a family. I'll be darned if I know how a 3-year-old was smart enough to add this to his rules. We are family. We don't all look alike, act alike, think alike, even worship alike, but we are family. We do things together. We celebrate, we grieve, we eat. We eat Thanksgiving dinner, hike, sing, rejoice, cry, laugh, march, and we pray. I know that if I have a problem, there are folks like the caring and support team that will help me. I love to share my joys at the microphone because people here will be happy with me. When my husband died, the support and love for both of us was evident and touching. Like all families, we have units that function separately. We have the board working hard to keep it all together, and many committees enable us to operate. Do we disagree about issues? Naturally. Do we argue? Of course. We're a family. Sometimes we even slam the door. But come Sunday, we are together. We sing and we pray and support one another on our spiritual journey. For this I am grateful, and for this I am a Unitarian Universal. Blessed be. Amen.
For our closing hymn, we'd like to ask you to rise in body and spirit and turn to 354 in your hymnals or on the screen.